What's good, y'all? It's your boy HB, Final Round. This is going to be a straightforward one. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. The keys for Canelo Alvarez in this fight. It's straightforward. We all know what Canelo is going to do. I don't think it's a fucking secret. I don't think it takes anybody sophisticated to understand what he's going to do. He's going to do what he does best. Okay? And he's improved significantly at dealing with fighters like this after Mayweather. You know, he did it against Amir Khan, he did it against Irislandy Laurie, he did it against Billy Joe Saunders, and I think he's going to do the same thing to Caleb Plant, even though I think Caleb Plant is going to pose a little bit more of a challenge. I'm not saying Caleb's going to beat Canelo, but I think he'll present more of a challenge being a bigger fighter, say, compared to Billy Joe. And Caleb Plant is a hell of a boxer, very skilled, great head movement, great footwork, very good at controlling distance, decent power. I don't think he can knock out Canelo. If Triple G couldn't do it, I don't know why Caleb would be able to do it, unless he can, you know, kind of trap him and catch him slipping. But even then, I don't see it. Canelo has a freaking steel chin. And I think Caleb doesn't have enough power. But he is bigger than Billy Joe, so it should be a little bit more of an issue, but I don't think that's going to be a factor. Caleb has to get through 12 rounds in this fight. Point blank, period. But we all know what Canelo's going to do. He's going to put pressure. How he applies that pressure, he may not necessarily cut off the ring. You know, he may just stalk Caleb in circles, which he can do because he's a phenomenal counterpuncher and he's going to do it responsibly. He's not going to just like aimlessly walk around, say like Ruslan Provatnikov or Maidana, take 5 shots upside the head and just to get one off. No, he's going to cautiously work his way in. You know, he's going to make you miss and he's going to counter. But what I see happening, especially with a guy of Caleb Plant, who's a very good boxer off the back foot, he's going to cut off the ring. Point blank, period. He's going to cut off the ring. He's going to throw that right hook to the body like he always does. He's going to shoot that jab to the body. He's going to work you downstairs to take away your feet. Once he takes away your feet, he takes away what you do best as a back-footed fighter. And now you become a sitting duck, and now he's ripping you with shots to not just the body, but to the head. And he's blasting your orbital, just like he did with Billy Joe. So we know that Canelo is going to cut off the ring. We know he's going to pot shot to the body with his right hook, with his jab. And we also know every time he gets maybe Caleb to set his feet and exchange punches, he's going to slip in his combinations to the body. One of my favorite combos that he does against back-footed fighters, he'll roll with a shot, then he'll come with his own hooks to the body. Very effective. A nice way to sneak in more work to the body rather than just pot shots. We're talking about top-tiered elite fighters, you know, especially the ones that like to box off the back foot. You're going to have to get to the body more than just pot shotting them. They may be able to maintain their cardio and conditioning with just pot shots to the body, but Canelo has mastered his counter hooks to the body at this point because he understands, I don't ever want to be in that position that I was in with Mayweather. I got to make sure I'm putting in my body work, putting in, you know, reinvesting my dividends as much as I can. And I'll cash out later in the fight. So Canelo's going to do his body work, and as the fight goes on and on, Caleb Plant is going to start to lose his feet. His body's going to start to get tight. He's going to start to have to exchange and settle down on his punches because his legs are going to be gone. And that's when Canelo is going to do what Canelo does best. He's not only is he going to have you trapped, he's going to start letting his combinations go. He's going to be able to counter you. He's going to be able to sit on his punches. He may get you stuck on the ropes. He may get you stuck in the corner. He's just going to have his way with you. It's a pretty straightforward game plan. We know this is what he's going to do. The only thing I can see being an issue, maybe Caleb Plant comes out and he works more of a Philly shell. He protects his body at all costs, drops his lead hand down, which he can do. He has the talent and the skills and the athleticism and the head movement. At this point, this is where it can get very interesting. And if it gets to that point, Canelo's gonna have to find some sort of way to sneak in his combinations if Caleb Plant decides to tuck his body in tight with that Philly shell. It's hard to get to the body with that Philly shell, man. It's hard to kind of draw your opponent out and work the fucking torso. If that becomes an issue, I think Canelo could fall on the scorecards. But Canelo has to show the judges, if it does become that type of fight to where it's going to go 12 rounds, he has to show the judges, just like he did with Erislandy Lara, that he's the aggressor and he's dictating the tempo of the fight and the pace. And he's making Caleb Plant move when he wants to move. Caleb Plant's not moving when he wants to move. Just like he did with Lara. Lara did a good job of getting to 12 rounds, but he was skating too much. He never settled down and showed the judges like, hey, I'm controlling this fight. I'm moving, but I'm controlling it. He never showed that. So that's what Caleb's gonna try to do. And if he does drop his guard and go to that Philly shell, Canelo has to find a way when he gets his man to the corner, gets his man back to the ropes, to sneak shots in those exchanges to where Caleb has to settle his feet, to sneak it in past that Philly shell. But I don't think that's gonna be an issue. I don't think Caleb's gonna, do that. I don't think he's gonna do what he hasn't been doing most of his career and utilize that Philly shell in the way that Mayweather does. That takes a long time to master. And even if you do, decide to go that way, you still have to understand you got to protect this upstairs. You have to understand the mechanics of that style to get away with doing it. Because if you don't, he's just going to headhunt you. And if Canelo touches you up top, it's nighty-night. So pretty straightforward. Canelo's going to apply pressure. He's going to cut the ring off. He's going to pot shot to the body with the right hook, with the left hook as well. Jab downstairs. He's going to try to force Caleb Plant to fight in the corner and with his backs to the rope. And even if Caleb Plant, manages to survive through the first 6 to 8 rounds, he's going to start feeling it in those later rounds. He's going to start losing his legs. He's going to start losing his ability to start skating. And he's going to have to sit down and engage with Canelo, and that's when Canelo shines, because he's a phenomenal fucking counterpuncher, and on top of that, he has hellacious power. And I think that's the way it go down. I think eventually Canelo will get it to the later rounds. He'll wear Caleb Plant down, and he'll start ripping his shots off to the body, to the head, and he'll knock Caleb Plant out. But I think we all kind of already knew how he's going to approach this. It'll be very interesting to see how Caleb Plant makes some sort of adjustment. One thing Canelo's gonna have to watch out for is the clinch. If Caleb Plant is smart, every time his back gets to the rope, he needs the clinch. Disrupt Canelo Alvarez's attack. Get back to the center of the ring once the ref breaks you up. Start boxing from the outside. Every time you get back to the ropes, you either skate out or you clinch. So Canelo's going to have to be aware of that. Every time he's going to have to key in on Caleb Plant and see that, okay, this guy wants to clinch every time I get him to the ropes. Okay, maybe I got an uppercut waiting for him as he's trying to get in and clinch me. Get ready to throw those tight, crisp punches in the pocket, because when a guy tries to clinch you, he's pretty much trying to get to the inside. If he wants to get to the inside, then give him something to deal with. Make him pay a fee. But other than that, I think this is going to look very similar to his last, like Billy Joe Saunders in a sense. Maybe a little bit more challenging, maybe a little bit more difficult. Maybe it'll take a little bit more time to get that KO or that TKO. But nonetheless, I think Canelo will do what he does best. He's going to body snatch you. He's going to take you to the deep water. He's going to make you engage, and then he's going to take you out. Point blank, period. So that's the keys to the fight for Canelo Alvarez. Nothing shocking. We all knew this. It's your boy HB. Final round. Comment below. Tell me what you think Canelo needs to do to win this fight, or what Caleb Plant needs to do like the video, subscribe to my channel. Just starting off, man, up and coming boxer and a trainer. I'll remember the people that start with me. I'm trying to bring you more content. I'll try to clean up the videos, make it a little bit more professional as we go, but I need some support, man. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing. I'm just passionate about talking boxing, any type of boxing, and I'm trying to share that with the community and share my knowledge and just have fun talking sports, man. Talking about boxing, this beautiful sport, the sweet science, man. There's so much to it. I'm not always gonna be right, man. I'm not always gonna be right, but it's not about being right all the time. It's just about having fun, talking about what we love, man, and sharing that with our community. And it's just another insight. So get at me, you guys. Your boy HB, final round. Be safe.